Hey everyone, welcome back to part 3 of my Project M Ivysaur guide. The last 2 sections focused on how to get a hit on your opponent, so today I'm going to talk about how to combo with Ivysaur once we find that opening. Today's video will be broken down into 2 main segments. First, I'll talk about each of Ivy's moves and how they can be used in combos, and then I'll show you how to apply that information with a few examples and the knowledge that we've gained from the last 2 sections of the guide. For this video, we'll only be talking about Ivy's on-stage punish game, as the entire next video will be focused on edge guarding. First up, I want to explain a bit of terminology that I'll be using throughout the video. At a basic level, any move you might try to combo with will be serving one of 3 purposes. It could be a launcher that sets your opponent up to be comboed, a finisher like a kill move or something that puts them off stage to be edge guarded, or a combo extender, which allows you to continue a combo and reposition your opponent without sending them away from you or ending the interaction. Many of Ivy's moves can serve multiple of these roles depending on how they are used, but in general your goal is to utilize moves that launch your opponent or extend the combo as much as you can until you're ready to use your finisher move. Having said that, let's identify what our relevant combo moves are and what roles they may serve. Our Jab 1 can serve as an extension by keeping an opponent in stun and setting up for another attack against aerial opponents who aren't able to crouch cancel it. Up tilt and down tilt are both launchers. They send opponents above Ivy for us to combo. Up tilt can also serve as an extender at low percents by forcing a knockdown and allowing you to potentially jab reset and extend a combo. Dash attack is also a launcher. It sends at a diagonal angle though. Up smash is traditionally a finisher. It's one of Ivy's strongest kill moves, but depending on the opponent's fall speed, both the weak and the strong parts of the move can combo into beam as well, allowing it to serve as a launcher in some situations. Solar Beam is exclusively a finisher. It's our strongest attack and it can be comboed into from across the screen. Vine Whip, or Up B, is also a strong finisher. It often combos at the same places that Solar Beam would, but requires no charge and can cover directly above Ivy, as well as the same diagonal space that Solar Beam can cover. Seed Bomb can be a launcher on characters with fast fall speeds, since it sends opponents upwards, and can also serve as a finisher if they're particularly high percents or near the top blast zone. Forward and back throw are both finishers. They can kill at high percents or near the ledge, and otherwise are mostly used to set up for edge guards by putting opponents off stage. Up throw and down throw are Ivy's combo throws. In general, you want to use down throw against everyone who isn't a fast or semi-fast faller, and use up throw on those characters. Nair can be both an extender and a launcher. If you land with Nair, opponents will be popped up a bit, but kept close enough to Ivy that we can easily follow up, while hitting someone with the final hit of Nair in the air will send them diagonally away and potentially allow us to combo into beam. The same goes for forward air. The outer hitboxes will send opponents away for us to combo with longer ranged attacks, while the inner hitboxes will keep them close to us for the next part of our combo. Back air is traditionally a launcher, but the first hit can serve as an extender depending on the situation, and at high enough percents or near the blast zone, the move can become a kill move to finish combos with as well. Up air can serve all 3 roles. The strong bulb hit can kill opponents off the top. Both the sweet spot and sour spot of up air can combo and juggle opponents vertically, and the belly flop hitbox below her can lock opponents in stun to extend combos on the ground. Down air is equally versatile. On the ground, sweet spot down air sends opponents straight up, making it one of Ivy's best launchers, and in the air, its meteor can serve as a combo finisher off stage, or as an extender on stage if you dare someone into the ground and continue the combo with a tech chase. The reason that I'm categorizing these moves and briefly explaining their properties, instead of listing combos that you can learn with Ivysaur, is that to do the latter would make this video well over half an hour, and teach you nothing about applying these tools. Ivy's combo game changes drastically depending on what percent your opponent's at, how fast their character falls, and how you expect them to DI or SDI. This means that her combos are often very free-form, and require an intimate understanding of what her moves do, and in what situations you want to use each move. There are a few basic rules, like down tilt to up air being one of our most consistent kill confirms, or grounded down air being a great launcher at almost any percent, but every move can work in a bunch of different ways depending on a lot of factors, which means that the best advice I can give you is to learn how to make those decisions for yourself on the fly. Sit down and play with the character in training mode, see what hitboxes each move has, how they work, what angles they send opponents at, and her combo game will start to come together as you develop that understanding. In general, your goal is to always keep the combo going as long as you can before you're forced to end it, and to pick options at every opportunity that give you the most viable choices that you can have available going forward to mix up your opponent and maximize your damage. But how you actually approach that goal is entirely up to you. At the end of the day, Ivy's combo game is all about making tiny decisions in the spur of the moment, and there are too many of those for me to map out for you in this guide, but hopefully so far I've been able to help create a basic understanding of how to approach those decisions by yourself while playing as Ivysaur. The best way I can think of to supplement the theoretical understanding that I've already helped show you is to show how to apply it in practice. So let's break down 3 combos that I've performed in the past, move by move, so that you can understand the thought process that goes into an extended punish with Ivy. Let's watch this first one at full speed, then break it down. The combo starts with back air, by necessity, since he's behind me and he DIs too far away for me to true combo into anything else. Because I knew that was a likely outcome, and anticipated him jumping to avoid something like a dash attack or a down tilt as he lands, I instead used up tilt, which has a big hitbox that's great for catching jumps and launches him straight up, comboing into up air. Because he has no jump, I want to push him off stage, so I go for sour spot up air, which sends him more horizontally than sweet spot, and it helps to push him off stage where I can abuse his recovery. In order to further make sure that he goes off stage, I back air, and then I back air again after seeing that he DIs in. I fast fall the third back air, which allows me to only hit him with the first hit, forcing him to fall lower without taking any real knockback, and giving me plenty of time to grab the ledge before he recovers. Now that he has no choice but to up B on stage, I'm able to use sweet spot up air as I land to send him straight above me. Because of how close to the ground I am, I land quickly enough to follow him into the air afterwards. At this point, he's at too low of a percent for up air to kill, so I go for neutral air, which sends him diagonally away from me and combos into falling beam. So if we watch this clip again, with all that in mind, every move from the up tilt on was based around maneuvering the Marth into worse and worse situations, until eventually I could kill him. Let's move on to clip number 2. This time I start the combo with the inner, weaker part of forward air. This keeps Peach close to me, and since I'm actionable before she is, I decide to drag her down towards the stage with Nair. I land before the final hit comes out, which ensures that she won't get sent very far away, and just before she would touch the ground, I hit her with sweet spot down air. The timing on down air in this situation is tight, but it's important to learn, because if you do it too soon, then you'll meteor her into the ground. If it's too slow, then they'll be able to land in tech or get their shield up. But because of how strong a launcher Dare can be, it's something that's worth implementing on occasion. In this case, I Dare exactly as Peach touches the ground, meaning that I'm able to bounce her off the stage. Dare can combo into a lot of options in this situation, but to maximize the options that I could go with going forward based on his DI, I go for sour spot up air, which sets him up well to get back aired. Normally, back air would be the end of this combo, but because the Peach DIs up rather than away, they get sent at the perfect angle for solar beam. Parts of this combo were true, but like the first one, it relied on my ability to move Peach where I wanted her to be, in this case keeping her near the ledge rather than pushing her further into center stage with something like a dash attack or another forward air, and mixing up my opponent's DI to turn what would normally be a finisher without a chance of getting a kill at that percent into the perfect launcher for a kill. And finally, let's watch this last clip. I know a lot happened in that one, so let's break it down just like the other two. Like the second combo, this one starts with forward air, but this time I hit with the sweet spot, which pops Game & Watch up so that he's next to me rather than below me. I get out of lag just before I hit the ground, allowing me to barely get out the first few frames of neutral air, dragging him down towards the ground in the same fashion as the last clip. This is where things get more complicated though. I expect my opponent to try to crouch cancel as soon as he hits the ground, so I up tilt, which sends opponents into knockdown even at pretty low percents. This forces him into a tech situation that I don't think he'll be ready for, so I go for my strongest combo move in this situation, which is down air. Because of how I drifted during the down air, he's now behind me, which limits my options to continue the combo after he's popped up. So I use first hit back air to bring him closer to the ground, same as I did in the first clip, and extend how long he's stunned for, before using the medial hitbox of up air to push him back down towards the stage. Up air doesn't allow opponents to tech until relatively high percents though, because it's such a weak meteor, so instead he's placed into this crumple state. Now I have time to jump up and footstool Game & Watch, which true combos into yet another sweet spot down air. This time he DIs in front of me, allowing me to confirm the kill with a forward air to beam. This combo applies a bunch of what I earlier referred to as extenders to keep the combo going in a few spots where it otherwise would have ended much earlier. After the nair at the beginning, that up tilt tech trap maximizes the damage I can get out of a situation where I barely had any frame advantage in the first place, and then he DIs the first down air behind me, so the entire sequence of first hit back air, up air, and footstool all serve just to reposition him and rack up damage while giving me the chance to get another down air in pretty much exactly the same place we were 3 seconds earlier that he might DI wrong, and in this case he did. Hopefully going over these 3 clips in detail helped you see how the concepts from earlier in the video can be applied to in-game situations. Now that we've gone over all of that, let's tie together everything we've learned from the first 3 sections of the guide. The first 2 parts were intended to teach you how to approach neutral safely and secure an advantage, while this part teaches you how to take that advantage as far as you can. But how you play neutral can also depend to some extent on what your combo starters are against that opponent, since if you're going to put out a committal attack, you want it to be one with a good enough reward to justify the risk. This means that even in neutral, you should be thinking about not only how to hit your opponent, but when you have the chance to choose between multiple options, which one would lead into the strongest punish. For example, against a Spacey, I may be more inclined to use dash attack in neutral over forward tilt, because both cover generally the same approaches and range in front of Ivy, and both are laggy enough to get me punished if I miss, but one nets me a much larger punish than the other in those matchups. Obviously, there are still times when F-tilt is my preferred choice. It's less laggy, and the disjoint can help me stuff out some options that would beat my dash attack, but more often than not, I'm likely to choose the option that's only slightly more risky and could yield a much bigger potential punish. It's very common in punish situations to have multiple moves that you can choose from, and being able to identify the one that you think is best for the situation based on what you want to do and how you want the combo to continue is something that will develop the more you think about and improve your punish game with Ivy. The 4th part of this series will focus on the last aggressive aspect of playing Ivysaur, which is edgeguarding. That video should be a bit shorter, but it's a complicated enough topic that I still wanted to give it its own video. As always, please feel free to leave questions in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer them or go over any of the concepts from this series in a more in-depth way than I could do in the video itself. And you'll find a link to the Ivysaur Discord in the description of this video. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 4 coming soon.